C++. I've been playing through a little bit of Alone in the Dark. I played through like the beginning of Alone in the Dark 2008. I have more of that to do.
Oh, so you're ahead of me because I'm still doing the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time,
Yeah,
which is
I'm not
going
gonna have
good,
to
by the way.
play through it. That's you seem like you've been having a good ass time.
I Here's the thing: I always have a good time with Zelda games. I know they're not for everybody, but I do genuinely enjoy them all.
I think after Majora's Mask, the formula should have changed. And then when it finally did 20 years later, it was Breath of the Wild, unfortunately.
I'm in the camp that a game doesn't need to change its formula. It can remain good as long as it stays fresh.
But that was just the problem, right? Is by the time we hit Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, the formula wasn't fresh anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, down to its bare mechanics hasn't changed, but like the environments were still interesting to look at. Like the way that you go about the story had changed.
Skyward Sword had bomb bowling.
So did Ocarina of Time. What's going on,
Ocarina of Time.
everyone?
Oh, what's up, podcast? How we doing? How
um,
you doing? How you doing?
yeah, leave a comment down below. How are you? How's everything been?
Yeah,
We just want to make sure the community's doing good.
yeah. Leave a comment right here, right now, if you watched the beginning.
Yeah, pause it. Don't pause it. Continue listening. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is one of those podcasts where sadly you're gonna want to either be glancing at your screen every now and then while you listen to us, because today we're gonna be rating every single North American released N64 game.
Yeah.
So, Red,
All of
are you
them.
ready?
Yeah.
And we are going to go in depth on our reasonings. Um, the way this tier list will go is S plus being absolute must plays. How have you not played this? Play the game. Down to F being really bad, not great. And then
Light it on fire.
no, we're getting there. Then we have garbage, games that should have just never been released. Please stop. Games that we think have horrible fandoms and aren't good. And then just games we never played.
Right. You can push some buttons, huh?
Now, I know you've played the entirety of the champion N64 list,
What does that entail?
like the emulator list, the champions.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so have I.
Your greatest hits.
Yeah. But it's like 72% of the library or something like that, and then they rank each one in their list as in the emulator file.
Right.
Um, and I think the only thing they really left out were a couple of racing games and the majority of sports and wrestling games. I think that was it, from what I understand.
Right.
Well, that gives us a pretty good precursor. So the first one I have here is the original N64 Hot Wheels game. I have good memories of this game.
I do too, but like not beyond being a toddler.
Exactly. I don't remember this game being particularly innovative or special. And I also
I
have a
mean,
very clear memory of playing a PS1 version of it and not being able to beat a certain track because the game just does not allow you to.
that's unfortunate, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest memory on your part. Like the most I can say is it was one of many racing games I played when I was barely old enough to hold a controller, and the only reason I remember it at all is Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would probably feel that way.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for Hot Wheels. I didn't really get into cars until I was older. But there are like specific memories I have, like the track gets super narrow and you just can't pass
Man,
cars for extended periods of the track.
that is funny as fuck because I didn't fall out of cars until I got older.
I think this game's a D, dude. Like it's completely playable on the N64, but it's bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. If mechanically it doesn't work, I think I'll agree with you. I think give it a D because like it's definitely not memorable.
Like the tricks and everything that you can do in it were super good. And I know just recently they released a new Hot Wheels game. Plus you have the Forza Hot Wheels, and those are incredible. Like extremely good reviews. So it's sad to see that Hot Wheels started from the bottom and have finally worked their way up to making decent games.
That
Oh,
was the same thing could be said for Lego.
true. But Lego Worlds was pretty fire.
Yeah, Lego Worlds was super fire.
Next we have a Hybrid Heaven.
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, so I know what Hybrid Heaven is, and from my memory, it was really good. Um, it's not mistaken, it's like a detective horror game, but I don't know have enough information to say anything on it. This has to go in not played for me.
Konami. Oh, it's Siphon Filter pretty much.
Is that what it is?
It looks a lot like Siphon Filter.
Did you like Height Siphon Filter?
Eh. This
Yeah,
game is poorly rated. This game is very poorly rated.
that's funny. Next game is Hydro Thunder. I
Excellent.
loved,
Excellent.
loved, loved Hydro Thunder.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Like, you're not big into racing games. Every now and then you'll hop into like Forza or The Crew and you'll have a good time, right?
Right. Right. But like N64 racing games like Wave Racer, Beetle Adventure Racing, like that, I can always look fondly back on that.
I don't look fondly back on Beatles event. Well, we'll get there. Do you remember playing Hydro Thunder often, or was it one of those like I threw it in the emulator, played it a bit, and was done with it?
If we had nothing to do, it was there, but like I played more of it in the emulator than I did out on physical hardware.
Gotcha. Because this is one of like Wave Racer and Hydro Thunder were like the two racing games I grew up with. Like those were the ones I had on the N64. And I remember very fondly because there was the wave in the track, and like they were not always consistent. Like sometimes you would have like the big waves that happened on your last lap and things like that. But like
Right.
dynamic racetracks, super fond of that. Thought it was crazy cool. We hadn't seen anything like that before.
It was the late 90s, so a lot of our brand new physics engines were coming into play, huh?
Right. I mean, how many megabytes of RAM did the N64 have? 8?
Yeah, and then the expansion card added some RAM, I think.
And
I
only
think
like
that's what that
two
does.
games used it, right?
Donkey Kong 64 and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Mm. I remember because I bought Majora's Mask at GameStop, and at this time, like PS2 was out, so Majora's Mask was like $3 at the time. I brought it home, and I couldn't play it because I didn't have the expansion pack.
I didn't play it until I got much older, thank fuck for that.
So Hydro Thunder, dude, that goes into a solid A for me. Like that is good memories with my brothers. Good time.
Good times. I'll give it a B just because like I don't have the same like sociable memories about it. It's a good game for what it's not like my favorite game ever, but like it's fun to look back on. It was a functional, fun game.
Fair enough. I I was just the only, and this is my argument to convince you of A. The only thing that, like, as a game developer or something like that, you have to appreciate the absolute insanity of the development of this game.
That same thing could be said for a number of N64 games though, because like it's got some of the most rich development history ever.
Okay. Are you okay with it being on A for the podcast?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
The next game is Iggy's Wrecking Ball.
Uh, it's another one I don't recognize.
You don't recognize Iggy's? Okay. You might have skipped it because this was one that was pretty weird. You are different creatures that can attach to the ceiling, and then you use swing physics to solve puzzles, do races, things like that.
So it's a mini game collection.
Not so much. It's more of I would say it's more like a racing game slash strategy puzzle.
Huh.
I remember this game fondly because my brother and I used to sit and play this game for hours trying to figure out how to beat the different levels.
I and it's always the obscure ones that trip me up because like the obscure games inherently are hit and miss person to person and carry a lot of nostalgia value with them.
Okay. That's true. It is not a very like I don't see very many people knowing what Iggy's Wrecking Ball was. I think the only person whom I watch on YouTube is Charlie, aka Penguin Zoe, who has mentioned this game. He's like the only one.
He's like deep into the obscura of internet,
Yeah,
you know?
and he grew up with the N64 as well, so he's very familiar with it.
Right.
Well,
Off topic, but fun fact, he's also a Hobbit speedrunner. What were you saying?
would you argue if I would you trust my opinion when I say this game's roughly C tier?
Yeah.
All right. Indiana Jones.
Did never played a good Indiana Jones game in my life. You won't convince me this game was any better.
This is an F tier game for me. I don't think it
Yeah.
was good at all.
Yeah, no, never. None of the Indiana Jones video games have ever been good.
I'm sure there's people who are into them because they're into Indiana Jones, but just from like a sheer mechanical standpoint and who made these games, they were totally capable of making better games. They
Yeah,
are time crunched, shat out movie games with no purpose.
they are ET.
Indie Racing 2000.
Another whatever racing game.
This is an F tier for me. I remember my uncle got it and I played it for maybe 15 minutes and was like, fuck this game.
Right. It's one of those fucking not even well constructed racing games that like barely functions.
All right, we're getting into some of the sports crap. International Superstar Soccer. I never played it.
Didn't give a shit. It was really bad. So it's not a good show of early soccer game technology.
There are Superstar Soccer 98, Superstar
I don't
Soccer 2000. I
I don't
never
think
played
any of
them.
them changed.
Backfield 2000. No idea. Um, Jeopardy. I mean, it's Jeopardy. What can we say? I mean, it wasn't innovative. It didn't look amazing. It gets repetitive. What do you want from us?
See?
C? I
D.
don't even think it's C. I think this is D tier.
Yeah, it was a D class.
But like for a full price game of Jeopardy from the year 2000 that can't be updated or have new questions, I just don't see it being even D. It's F tier. Like this is just plastic waste.
Well, but that's subjective, right? Because like how much does information that's factual change?
I mean, it does change.
But like generalized questions like Jeopardy asks things like world history and arithmetic and who performed what music, and those are things that like you really can't
It's a good
get.
argument, honestly. And you said D?
Yeah, as D rank games, because they're whatever. They're made for families who like don't play video games.
Eh, all right. All right. All right. Acclaim Sports 2000. Now, I liked Acclaim Sports 2000.
I just like Acclaim.
Yeah, I just like Acclaim as well. I would say Acclaim Sports 2000 was like a solid B. It wasn't the greatest. Like I would faster pick up like MX ATV Off-Road Fury or something like that for a good time. But I mean, if this was all you had, it wasn't the worst option.
Right.
I mean, this is you know what, C. I would say this is C. Do you agree with C?
Yeah.
Like, especially now that you're an adult and you have the option to pick whatever game you want because you can emulate these now. Like you're not gonna go out of your way to play Acclaim Sports 2000. That's just
N-
it's not gonna happen.
No, yeah.
Jet Force Gemini.
Fucking love it. I'm such a
S.
rareware fan. S tier game. Jet Force Gemini is a third-person shooter of a totally different breed.
It didn't age great. It's not S plus because of
You
that.
are so full of shit. It aged so well.
I totally disagree with you.
Maybe it's just like if you grew up playing it and you know
I
how
did.
it feels exactly the same today as it did back then.
I actually have plans
And
on playing
it's
this game
so
soon.
good.
I think that'll
I
be one
love Jet Force
interesting.
Gemini.
Really? Are you
Yeah,
okay with S or do you want to argue S plus?
I think I'm okay with S. There are some S plus things that are definitely better.
I don't even I can think of like maybe 4 S pluses. And one you're going to argue, I know it, and you know it as well. You know exactly which one.
Yeah,
Uh Griffin Jr.'s baseball? Slugfest?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. I had it's a baseball game. It's just a generic baseball game. I had this one, and like out of all the baseball games I owned, this was the only good one.
Fair enough.
I would honestly give this like it's a sports game, but I would honestly put it on a C.
Playable with friends.
Oh, absolutely. Actually a pretty good time.
I can see that.
Kirby and the Crystal Shard.
Bad
S
game.
plus.
Bad game. Are you
S
fucking kidding me?
plus. It's the
You
only
play the whole
good
game with the
Kirby
C
game.
buttons. It's such a bad game, though.
It's a
Like,
children's game.
that's not a good argument. Children deserve better than garbage.
My
I'm
honest
sorry.
opinion is it's an
I'm
A.
not a fan.
I'm a fan because it was the first Kirby game where you can like mix your abilities, and I thought that was super fun. And as a kid, I would definitely say I'm nostalgic for a game like this. I don't think it holds up. I think you're right. It was not innovative for that generation at all.
I will be objective for what it is, what it did, what it's good at. I will give it a B.
Oh, you're giving it a solid B. Well, I said S plus. Are you okay with an A?
Yeah, we'll meet in the middle there.
I
Give
thought
it
you
an
were gonna
A.
go much lower than a B.
Nah, nah. I don't feel like it deserves an F, right? Because I know a lot of my personal hatred for it is personal, but also like from an objective standpoint, I can also think about the things I did wrong. I don't have much nostalgia for it. It's one of those ones where I really do have to kind of be objective about it.
Well, I think this tier list is obviously in my favor, right?
Right.
I think the PS2 and the PS3 Xbox 360 tier list that we end up doing are more in your favor.
But that's like saying that I wouldn't have grown up with like I grew up with a lot of video games,
I
my
know,
guy.
I know. Which is why we can do an N64 tier list.
Right.
So did I. I mean, the only thing I didn't grow up with was a NES, and I ended up playing a lot of NES when I worked at the arcade.
I even had one of those. I had a few of those
I had
period of time.
I had 2 SNESs and a Sega Genesis.
I never had like an official Nintendo release model NES, but I had a bunch of bootlegs.
That's awesome. Bootleg NES tier list.
You could get bootleg NESs for like $5, literally
Uh,
everywhere.
eBay's got them cheap, cheap, cheap.
Cheap, cheap.
All right, Majora's Mask,
Easy S plus.
easy S plus.
Easy,
However,
easy, the best game in the series.
oh yeah, easily, easily. It's got a phenomenal difficulty curve. It's still the Zelda Oot combat feeling. It's just good.
I think the tension that the game gives you by
Ooh,
limiting you to 3 days of in-game time is incredible.
the emotional impact of that game, so good. Ocarina of Time, I gotta say S. Like, it's not as good as Majora's Mask, but it was still one of the most important games on the N64. I know how you feel about Oot, but so go ahead.
I have to be like, this isn't one of those times where my personal opinion can get in the way of what is an objective fact. I'll agree with you, give it an S for what it's known for alone. Personally, I'd give it like a C because I don't hate it. It's just not great. Not even for like I understand how revolutionary it is and whatever, but like even for the time it came out, I played other things that came out around the time it came out, and it's still not even great by those standards. So like that is literally just a me thing though. Like on personal preference, there were so many other things I would have rather played.
Did you play Mario 64 first, or did you play Ocarina of Time first?
I played Mario 64 first.
That makes sense. I find now, of course, I don't want to generalize, so take this with a grain of salt. I find many people who've played Mario 64 first typically have a way higher standard for that game over Ocarina of Time,
Well,
and vice
you
versa.
want to be you want to be totally fair. The first Nintendo 64 experience I had, the one I stuck with the most, was Banjo-Kazooie. That's where my standard for
Yeah.
N64 games of that time period was.
And I know many people try to argue that Legend of Zelda is not a collectathon. It most definitely is. Like
100%.
100%. Yeah. Even Majora's Mask, even with all of its extra additions, is still a collectathon. You
Right,
need to
that's
get
just
items to progress the story. That's how it works.
periodic. Gamers like collecting items. It's as stereotypical as gamers like to shoot stuff.
Right, right. Wow. All right. Lego Racers?
Eh, I mean,
I
it's not
hated it.
a fucking horrible game. It functions.
It doesn't function. I
It does
disagree.
function. What do you mean?
Lego Racers for me is like a hard F.
Are you
Oh yeah,
serious?
like the only good thing Lego Racers did was the mechanics where things broke apart. Everything else was garbage.
Bro, what?
It's
As I
ice
say,
track
Lego
racing the
Island
game.
was bad.
I mean, Lego Island wasn't good.
Lego Island was incredible.
No!
What are you talking about?
Lego Island for me is a hard F.
Oh my god.
So what's your why do you like Lego Racers?
I think Lego Racers is a solid B because not only is it friendly, easily playable, and fucking generally good for children to have more Lego games available, but it also looks really good even today because Legos are kind of timeless.
I don't I don't remember it being good at all. I remember 4 racetracks, 1 song, a really offbeat build your own car system that didn't work half the time,
I don't know what platform you played Lego Racers
and
on, but
64.
I remember the full 9-8 racer layout with the full fucking 7 tracks that were was it 7? I need to
I don't think it was 4. I know like the game itself is like an hour, maybe 2 hours long. But I also
it's
know that you can beat every Lego Racer game in like 10 minutes if you're a
it had
speedrunner.
it had all of these boss fights and all of these cool fucking stages and unlockable Legos and carts and like there's so much cool shit about it. Solid C.
Solid C. And the versus races, that was okay. You could make really funny looking cards. I guess enjoyment factor, I can agree with you on C. I don't think it's a good game though.
I think we'll have to go back and play it at least once
Yeah, I would recommend
at
that
some
you at
point.
least just throw 10 minutes into it and really come back to me and be like, well, actually.
Like, you
Uh,
shouldn't trust me when I say Shadow the Hedgehog is a good game either.
I don't. And I know personally speedrunners of that game. And even they're like, no, this game's shit.
It's fucking incredible. What are you talking about?
All right. All right. Let's move on. Army Men Air Combat. It's the only Army Men I didn't like.
It's not even the like I wasn't big into RV Men the games to begin with, but like in a world where Body Harvest exists, why the fuck would you be playing Army Men?
I don't even think Body Harvest.
There was a different kind of third person shooter era. You kind of had to appreciate like that kind of third person shooter.
Well,
They were collectathon platformer shooters,
the
and you're not big
reason
on collectathons.
I'm okay with collectathons, it's just pacing is very important for me when it comes to a third person or a
There's not
collectathon.
much pacing there. It is kind of just like thrown into the world,
Yeah.
made to do some shit.
Where at least like with Army Men, it was script on screen, directing you a bit. There was stuff to look at. I mean, the levels were short, the game was easy, whatever. We're not to Body Harvest yet, but I guess we can skip the Body Harvest. I don't remember Body Harvest fondly because I remember the open world environment that it tried to portray was kind of lame, and the monsters weren't very cool.
Thought it was unique for what it was, but I also didn't have anything like it when I played it, which makes a huge difference.
Fair. Doesn't that game only have like 60 assets in it or something?
Yeah,
Tiny or
it's
something?
very small game.
But I mean, Army Men Air Combat is the helicopter one, obviously.
Right.
I remember liking it on the Game Boy, but I can't judge the Game Boy one. I have to judge the N64 one, and I still don't remember it fondly. And I think I played this the first time on the GameCube for the Elite missions, and even then I was like, this is kind of shit. I mean, it's
Give it a D.
playable. D?
Give it a D, yeah, because like it functions.
And I can't disregard the fact that Army Men during the N64 era was like the shooter game to play if you didn't have 007 or Perfect Dark. They were just like the ones.
But you can't hold a candle to games like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, really.
I have arguments, but we'll get to it. All right, what's this? Mario Kart 64 S Plus,
Yeah, hard S plus, not even arguable.
like revolutionary racing game, combat racing game. There were ones previous to this, but this was their second foray into 3D. If I'm not
Right.
mistaken. I think the Super one for the Game Boy Advance did a little bit of 3D, unless it was fake. I can't remember. God damn, was Mario Kart 64 a bop when you had 4 people playing? Getting friggin' we were drinking Surge energy drinks and battling it out in Mario Kart 64 and battling it out in Super Smash Brothers 64. Those are the times, man. Take me back to when I was 7. All right. Tetris Challenge. That was the Disney one, right? That was the Disney themed Tetris.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if this was a good version of Tetris or not. Tetris Challenge was also called Tetris Magical. No, this one was a good one. It was just Tetris with Disney themes. I like this one. My mom and I used to play this one. But I mean, it's just Tetris.
Right.
How do you feel?
C.
How do you feel about Tetris? You just think C
Yeah.
just
Time
is?
waster.
No, okay. Tetris Game Boy Original.
another time waster. I'm like, I had Tetris on my smartphone when I had a smartphone because that was really like all it was good for.
But put yourself in the shoes of somebody in 1989, 1992,
And in Soviet Russia,
and in Soviet Russia.
where video game is incredibly sparse, and we must play Tetris on little elephant branded device.
I see. If it was that, if it was Game Boy, I would say it's easy S plus. It was iconic. It sold the system. Everybody was playing Tetris. It was like the hot shit at the time. But by the N64, it was what, 14 years at that point?
If I have to give Tetris one thing, I absolutely love the Tetris World Championship.
Yeah, me too. Shit goes hard. Those guys go hard. All right, Madden games. I'm just gonna put all these in. Please stop. I don't care. They're sports games. I don't care. Unless you know of a good one that I should care about.
Not really.
All right, what is this? Here's one. I don't think I've ever played this. Maureen's.
I don't know.
Maureen. Hang on, let me Armorines Project Swarm. Oh wait, do I remember this? Yes, I do remember this game. Armorines was kind of like unbranded Alien, but on a planet where you got fight in first person perspective. The horror shooter.
Ah, that sounds like something I would enjoy.
Think Body Harvest, except it's more fleshed out.
That sounds like something I would have really enjoyed.
It's pretty solid. It's got awesome boss fights. I would probably say it's kind of like what if Metroid had a game on N64 but wasn't Metroid? Like Metroid Prime. I'm gonna have to say this is probably a solid B for me because I don't think I owned this game. I think my friend owned this game and we had stayed up all night playing it because we had just never played anything like it. And that's the same friend I beat Resident Evil 4 with. He had good taste in games.
Yeah, he did. Everyone who ever has enjoyed Resident Evil 4 has at least some good taste in games.
I'm gonna have to recommend that game. I cannot read. This game is.
You heard
Oh,
it here first, folks. He can't read.
yep, that's right. Illiterate. Killer Instinct Gold.
Love the Killer Instinct games. I'm a fighting game nerd, dude.
Yeah, you are.
That is solid S for me.
Really? Killer Instinct's an S?
There are better fighting games.
I was just gonna say, like, Killer Instinct Gold was good. Don't get me wrong. But S? Like, B.
Nah, come on. It wouldn't have gotten a remake so many years later if it were a B.
Yes, it would have. The company needed it to make money so that way they didn't go under.
Microsoft did not need Killer Instinct to make
Oh, wait,
money,
who am I
otherwise they
thinking
wouldn't
of?
go. I don't know
Who am
what
I
you're thinking
thinking
of.
of? Mortal Kombat 8? No, that sold
NetherRealm
terribly.
is fine.
Oh my god, who am I thinking of? It was not a recent. Oh, uh, not Darkstalker. What's the other one that's like Darkstalker but isn't Dark? Skullgirls. It was Skullgirls.
I big fan of Skullgirls. Good game.
Skullgirls was solid. Have you played the Endless beta?
No.
Big Reco. I think it's free. Really good. But Killer Instinct. You mean I say B, you say S, meet in the middle, and say it's an A?
Fair enough.
I put a lot of time into Killer Instinct Gold, honestly. I don't remember it fondly though.
I love Killer Instinct. It's a fast, fucking, really fast input fighting, button mashing fighting game where really like the strategy lies in how you move. And that's my favorite part of it.
Who do you play as?
Usually the skeleton dude, I don't remember his name. I haven't played Killer Instinct in a couple years.
Neither have I. When did they make? They made another one recently. Remember the werewolf? Remember the werewolf?
Yee.
I guess this game is pretty well remembered. People meme on it though. Makes sense. Okay. I don't know what this game is. Uh, Infinite Edge Nose Gunner.
That sounds like a space shooter.
Sounds like a shmup. Were you big into shmups or no?
Eh, I think it depends on how it's done.
It is not a shmup. It is more like a Harrier.
What was the subtitle for this game?
Infinite Edge Nose Gunner. I've never played this, but it looks pretty good.
Knife Edge Nose Gunner.
Oh, Knife Edge. Knife Edge. My bad.
Oh, oh, uh, it's helicopter shmup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Remember
I would have gotten down
Harrier?
with this. Yeah,
Yeah. You would have gotten down with this?
yeah.
I probably would have as well, to be completely honest, if I had it. But you've never played it?
No,
That's,
I can only assume that it's probably like the Star Wars flying games.
those were so good.
Yeah, those were amazing. I don't even like Star Wars, and those were amazing.
So good. Squadron?
Ye-
So good. Have you played the remake?
I haven't
Heard so
because
many good
I'd
things.
rather have a Pod Racers remake. Not gonna lie.
True. Facts. I don't think they'll ever do it though.
No.
Kenneth Griffin baseball. Well, this is the. I already said where this one's going because the first one and the second were both really good. E tier. So there are some sports games making it onto the list. Heads up. Also,
Ye-
I'm gonna. I didn't do that from the beginning. My bad. All right. Army Men, Sarge's Hero. Now you had said you're not a big fan of Army Men.
Nah, not really.
I have to remember
Yeah,
which one this is.
I passed over Army Men a lot on the Xbox Live Arcade also.
You would just look at it and be like, meh. I understand why it's not for everyone, but I didn't have this on the N64. I had it on the Dreamcast, which we don't have to get into why I had a Dreamcast. Let's just say it wasn't fun reason. I'm gonna say this is like a solid C. This isn't for D. You skipped it, so it's only my opinion. So do you trust my opinion on that? Oh, we lost him, folks. Ah, what happened?
Technical difficult things.
We love to hate to see it.
Yeah.
I was saying I put Sarge's Hero on D, and if you were cool with that,
Yeah. I'll trust your opinion. I don't care about the Army Men games.
right. All right, what is this game? I don't know what it is. Uh, something runner, Edge Runner 3D? Is that what that's? Oh, that's not Edge. Code Runner 3D? I don't know. Nope, never played it. You have any idea?
Load Runner 3D is a puzzle game.
It is. Doesn't look very interesting. At the same
I
time, it looks kind of interesting.
I don't know, maybe. I think like it's one of those games like Intelligent Cube on the PS1, kind of, but with more
Mm.
guns.
Kind of looks like it wanted to be like a Mega Man-ish kind of game.
Like Mega Man Bomberman.
Yeah, yeah, that's a solid. What's the Metacritic on it? God damn it! Why am I using
Overall, fairly average.
fairly average? Oh yeah, 7 out of 10. eBay says 4.5 out of 5.
Probably a cult favorite.
Yeah, it's probably a cult favorite. Well, sorry to the Load Runner cult gaming community. We haven't played your game.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But we have
I
to
don't
get
know what
into some pretty important games here. We need to put some good games on the list, right?
yeah. I don't know what a load is, so let's move on.
I've heard LODE as in like in game development. That's about it. I don't know. Perfect
You're a
Dark,
load. Amazing, incredible, S plus, inarguable.
inarguable. Perfect Dark is easily one of the greatest N64 games for third person shooting or first person shooting.
Easily one of the greatest games ever made,
It's
hands
so
down.
good. Joanna Dark is like one of my favorite characters ever.
It's
Awesome.
so fucking creative, and there's so much to see. The visuals are so, it's so big for the N64.
And the alien section.
War was the best map, though.
Honestly, if you've never played Perfect Dark 64, it is time to load up Project 64, plug in your favorite controller, and play Perfect Dark 64. It is
Yeah,
like, sure, it's going to be jarring at first. There's
you
repeating
don't
textures, but
even
it's so good.
you don't even have to do that. If you want the full upscaled experience, hop onto your fucking Xbox One or Game Pass Cloud
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
play the original Perfect Dark through reReplay, because my god, is it better as a twin stick first person shooter.
Fun fact, did you know that um, the only Xbox One game I own is Rare Replay?
Good reason for that.
Because I don't own an Xbox One, and I wanted to collect that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, dude, if you've never played Perfect Dark 64, fun story. Needle Deek, during I think like 2 years ago, I had like a 2 week stint at my house because I have a whole guest house underneath my house, basement guest
Ye-
home, and a bunch of my buddies stayed here, and he played through Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Perfect Dark 64 while he was here. He said those games were awesome.
Good game. Cannot recommend Perfect Dark enough.
So good.
Just so good.
Well, anything in the S plus tier and S tier, if you've never played, it's time to check them out. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Mega Man 64.
Could do without. Um, it's better as Mega Man Legends on the PS1,
I don't
and
like
that's
Mega
pretty
Man.
much it.
I don't like Mega Man at all.
I love Mega Man. I think Mega Man's an underappreciated series for what it is. Like, among the swell of Mega Man games, Mega Man 64 gets a solid D.
Okay, this is a solid question for you. I see a lot of people liking Mega Man, but every time I talk to people, it's so divided. Why is that?
Because Capcom kind of didn't do a lot with Mega Man near the end there. Like, it's very hit and miss, and there are a lot of Mega Man games that are definitely not good. Like, you get later into the X series, like post X3, and it's really bad.
Hmm.
The animated cutscenes from 8, X8, and 9. Oh my god. You think the Resident Evil and House of the Dead voice acting is bad? Bro, is some legendary meme content in there.
Listen, I beat Silent Hill 2. I know bad voice acting.
No, I don't think you quite
I know it's
understand
bad.
the
It's really
scope
bad.
of it.
I've seen it. So you said D?
Yeah, Mega Man 64 gets a D even among Mega Man games.
Oh, it really wasn't that good.
No, it really wasn't that good. It plays much better on the PlayStation 1 as Mega Man Legends, where it belongs.
Fair enough. I mean,
It needs dual analog stick. support it.
I just don't like Mega Man. I'm not even gonna. I just don't like Mega Man. I don't think the games are ever been good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dang.
That's hey, gamer
So
opinions. Am I right?
you'll take a D.
Yeah, I'll take a D. I trust your opinion since I'm not gonna play it.
And even like as somebody who likes Mega Man games, as a fan of Mega Man games, it's not even the best of Mega Man games. So like it's good. It's definitely not the worst, but it's not the best.
The only Mega Man game that I ever enjoyed was the one on the PSP, and it wasn't because it was good. It was because it was just enough difficulty where I had it for like a year, and it took me forever to beat it. And I don't even think
Makes sense.
that one's regarded as good. Anyway,
It's hard. It's hard to find people who enjoy Mega Man for the same reasons I do. Maybe
yeah, I very commonly hear I like Mega Man because it's hard, but then it's just like, so you like this game because you spent hundreds of hours on it for an ego trip?
like I don't care about the difficulties so much as like I like Mega Man for the design, the elements that make it great, how it leads you and teaches you to play the game while you're playing with very, very subtle hints and
Mm-hmm.
tricks and
Cool
the whole thing
mechanical
is
development.
yeah, the whole thing and it looks good and the soundtrack's kick ass. There's a lot that goes into it, but I don't think they're hard. I think if you think they're hard, it's because you have no idea how to play them.
Um, I think they're hard. One, two, and three were hard for me because they're very heavy platformers.
But like those are mostly those find most of their difficulty in cheesy boss fights.
Yeah, that too. But I'm cool with cheesy boss fights. I don't have an issue with that. Just watch my Dungeon Munchies playthrough.
Fair enough.
Absolutely fucking demolish that game. Love that game. Go play Dungeon Munchies. Give them your money. It's worth it. Mario Party.
Mario Party is a game that you play if you want to lose your friends.
I had Mario Party 2, 1, 2, and 3. Played them with my family. Never thought they were all that special. Easy D tier for me. I don't see what the fandom around them is. I don't get it. I think the mini games are boring.
Big agree. Not a big fan of Mario Party myself. I liked Mario Party 4 for the GameCube. Only one of that series I think I actually spent time on.
I would put 1 in probably C, 2 in C, and then is it 3 in F? 3 is the one that a lot of people hate.
I think so.
Let me just double check that. I don't
I
remember if
don't
it's Mario
I
Party
think they're all
2.
kind of beloved.
Mario Party 2 got a 7.9. Mario Party 3 got a 7.7. And Mario Party, the first one, got a 9. That
Fair
sounds
enough.
about right. Because I remember very distinctly, and I don't know if this was because I was getting older, but Mario Party 1, I enjoyed the mini games quite a bit. I didn't hate when we had to do them. But by the time 3 was out, I hated doing the mini games. They were so dumb. And I don't know. Maybe my memory's wrong, but I don't understand the fandom behind Mario Party.
I don't either. I think it's just a game that you play if you want to get pissed off at your friends for a little while because some RNG shit happened.
Then just play like Super Smash Brothers. Better.
Yeah. Yeah, just do that.
Or Monopoly. Bust out Risk.
Play,
Risk was
play,
fire.
just pull out a pair of boxing gloves and fucking commit to good old pugilism.
Yeah, we did that. My friend now has permanent brain damage, so I don't know about that.
Wear headgear then, you gonk.
We didn't know that he had displaced discs, and neither did he.
That's unfortunate,
Yeah, it was
actually.
actually super sad. But the doctor was like, "Hey, it was bound to happen." We were like, "Oh."
Oh.
Um, The fighting game Mace. Remember Mace?
It was bad.
You thought Mace was bad?
It was bad.
Oh, I didn't think Mace was great, but I did like Mace because it gave me that like side scroller medieval fighter with the medieval weapons, and I thought that was kind of fun at the time. So I remember
It's
playing it pretty well.
it's Mortal Kombat 4, but way, 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 way less fucking polished.
Yeah, it was a small studio, wasn't it?
Uh, Midway, so no.
No, Midway was
No.
pretty big at the time. Midway was
Yeah.
still on their decline during the N64 era, though. Like, I
It
definitely
was
feel like, eh,
Mortal Kombat 4 was no shit to smile at either. It was a pretty bad game.
we're getting to Mortal Kombat, don't worry. But I remember Mace being like a D tier game. Like, it was pretty good.
I would agree with that. It's playable.
Mario Tennis, easy A.
F. What?
Easy A.
Oh.
Like, in terms of sports games and like having to play something, Mario Tennis was like actually a decent good time.
I'm gonna be 100% real. I don't like Mario Tennis Classic. I've never liked Mario Tennis. I've never understood it. I don't understand why people do like it. Like, ultimately, I think fucking Strikers volleyball is probably better, way,
I
way
mean, it was
better.
way better, yeah. Strikers
But
wasn't volleyball, it was soccer or football.
football.
I'm gonna say it correctly. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay is a chef today because he broke something playing football. So we have something to thank that sport for, anyway.
I like football. I follow it a little bit.
I know how to kick a ball and point it in a direction also.
So you're just saying
But
straight up F. If I'm throwing down an A, that means it would be a C between the two of us. I
which
enjoyed
is
it.
fair. I mean, I'm willing to come up to a C. We can give it a B. Like, just because, like, I know it's not the worst of sports games out there. It's definitely better than a lot of D tier shit, and it's by no means a failure.
No, it was a huge success.
Yeah.
And Mario, not all Mario sports games are good, by the way. The Switch tennis game was fucking hot garbage. But the N64, like, had gimmicks that were fun to play around, you know?
Yeah.
And we love gimmicks on this show.
I am a gimmick.
All right, Mortal Kombat Sub Zero. F.
Easy, easy F. But you know what? A
No, it's
part of me is a
garbage.
masochist that has to be like D because once you know the route, it is 100% playable.
My guy. It is garbage.
Like, it's almost like Dragon Slayer.
Oof. Solid argument. Solid argument. Okay, F.
Yeah, we'll give it an F. Fine. I can't defend that game no matter how hard I try. It really is indefensible.
I had Sub Zero, and I remember playing it as a kid. And I also had Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2, awesome. Sub Zero,
Oh,
oh
fucking
my god.
crouch here for this fucking tornado to pick you up to go to the next level where you're gonna die right away, lose your last life, and have to start over. By the way, you might not have known this, but you have to crouch for that tornado. It doesn't just show up out of nowhere. They
Oh
don't tell
my
you that shit.
god, I hated it.
They
I
don't tell you
hated
that shit.
it. I remember we went to okay, I'm not gonna say where I grew up, but like 2 blocks away was a GameStop. So I used to walk over to GameStop with like my little change that I had. And I remember going and being like, I need a walkthrough for Mortal Kombat Sub Zero. And I got so much shit from the cashier. And he was like, dude, just don't play it. I didn't understand. So I thought he was making fun of me saying I was bad at games. And I was like, no, I need the guide for the game. And he's like, no, literally, don't bother playing this game. And I look back on that memory and I'm like, this is what he was talking about. This moment right now. Oh my god, it's bad.
It's horrendous. It's god awful. That's why it's got such a soft spot in my heart because it is the worst.
Literal words. But you know what isn't the worst? Nightmare
Your mom.
Creatures. Wow.
Oh yeah, Nightmare Creatures is sweet. Your mom's pretty cool too.
My mom's converting to being a gamer.
Nice.
Pretty dope. Yeah, Nightmare Creatures is mm, mm,
Hmm.
so good. It's Bloodborne before Bloodborne. Mm, so good. It's like the OG Dark Souls. Love me some Nightmare Creatures. S? His microphone stopped working again?
Your mom.
Your mic's gotta stop.
Yeah, I know.
I said S?
I can agree with that.
When did you first play Nightmare Creatures?
When I was real young, I first played Nightmare Creatures like same time I played like Buck Bumble, I think.
Whew, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Wow. N64 or PS1?
Uh N64 hands down because it just looked so much better. Like I know the controls weren't better, but it just looked so much better.
I think I had it for the PS1, but I remember it very fondly.
Great game. The Ignatius side specifically, like Nadia's weapons are cool and all, but Ignatius's stick is busted.
Dude, Pokey Stick. Ignatius's Pokey Stick was the one meant to be in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Was Nightmare Creatures one of my earliest exposures to monster horror.
Really? That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Resident Evil 2 is
big
mine.
big contributor to why I like Resident Evil so much.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I had Resident Evil 2 and 64, and then I didn't get Nightmare Creatures until PS1.
Damn.
Was there a Dreamcast? Or I
There was Nightmare Creatures 2 came out on the Dreamcast.
think I had that on the Dreamcast. Yes, I did. I had Nightmare Creatures 2 on Dreamcast. I remember this box art very fondly. That's funny. Oh, the monster
I've
designs in Nightmare Creatures so good.
never even played Nightmare Creatures 2.
Can I recommend? I don't know if it's on this list. I don't think it is.
It didn't it only got a Dreamcast release, I'm pretty sure.
Nightmare Creatures 2 has a 90 out of 100, a 4 out of 5 on eBay, and a 4.9 out of 5 on CoolROM.
It was on the first PlayStation. It didn't make it to the N64.
Okay. Yeah, apparently it's really good. They say for every Shenmue fan or Soul Calibur fan, I don't understand how that there's a brand new
Shenmue
copy.
Shenmue with a sword.
Shenmue with this. Nightmare Creatures came out before Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
That's crazy.
That can't be true. Yeah, 1 year before. That's insane. Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. Y'all learned it here first, folks.
You did.
Yeah. Miss Pac-Man.
Whatever.
I mean, it's Miss
It's fucking
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. It's fucking Pac-Man. B grade. Like everyone can play Pac-Man. Everyone knows what it is. It's not like they ever get it wrong.
So, okay, Miss Pac-Man, Maze Madness, N64. Right. Here's the thing. At this point, I was so fucking tired of Pac-Man. and I was like 9. I had Pac-Man on my Game Boy. I had Pac-Man on my SNES. I had Pac-Man on my N64. All my uncles were playing Pac-Man. We would go to the arcade. Pac-Man. I don't like Pac-Man. What even is a Pac-Man? It's not a Kirby. No, I think it's D. I think the graphics were there, but at the end of the day, it's still fucking Namco Pac-Man.
But like Pac-Man managed to survive even today, though. That has to say something about the viability of it.
Sure, it has a very viable game strategy, but it doesn't mean how are you not sick of Pac-Man?
Because it's not something that you can get sick of, really. There's no idea to get sick. It's literally just like if I need to kill some time, Pac-Man's there. It's like Tetris. I feel that same way. It's not something that you look at like it's supposed to be like, oh, super in depth. There's all this shit to it. No, most Pac-Man games that aren't Pac-Man World are the exact same because they're just that. They're like brainless time killers. That's why I was like, obvious B. You can like literally anyone, maybe a C. Literally anyone at any point, anywhere can pick it up, know it's Pac-Man, know exactly what to do. It still works. Like,
I could concede on a C. I think it's hot F tier, but I can concede on a C.
I think it's just like aggressive average.
It's just I don't think anybody in our audience is gonna stop what they're doing and play Pac-Man. I just don't think that's realistic.
Bullshit. Right now, type in the pause the video and type in the comments if you would stop right now and play Pac-Man if it were right in front of you. I bet you would.
I'm going to
I'm
YouTube.
I bet you would.
Is there a
I bet you
YouTube
could type
dedicated
Pac-Man
live
live
website?
now. No.
That would be nice to know. YouTube.live. Oh yeah, there is. Oh, but it's like a channel.
In the filters under features, the first feature is live. You can just set it to live. There are, in fact, people playing Pac-Man live now among the swell of clickbait.
Oh yeah, right there, live. And then you just typed in Pac-Man. I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm gonna show the stream this. Look at this. You can go to live right here, and it shows you only stuff that's live.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
YouTube Live. Use it more often. Support the people who stream live on YouTube because, I mean, why wouldn't you? We're all friends. Fuck, man.
Oh, there are Lego Pac, Pacmation, Funny Pac-Man.
Oh my god, Elsa Gate.
I mean, are they playing Pac-Man or are they just doing
That
something?
this looks like some obvious Elsa Gate shit.
This looks like it was well made. This is creepy. Anyways, I'm out of here. That got weird really fast.
Yeah, it did, man. I'm telling you, that looked like some like obvious Elsa Gate shit. Somebody got to look into Sonic Gate on YouTube. Mama
Okay,
Max, get on that.
somebody please help. I'll go to Twitch. I don't like Twitch, but can I search by game? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Pac-Man 99. One person playing, one viewer. Nobody cares
I kind of
about
thought
Pac-Man.
I kind of thought Pac-Man Championship Edition would probably be more popular than that.
Isn't the servers for that already done though?
No.
Nobody's playing Pac-Man World Rally.
I mean, Championship Edition 2 launched in 2016.
He's not even playing Pac-Man 99. He's playing freaking Splatoon. Nobody cares about Pac-Man. This is what I'm saying.
No results found. Damn, that sucks.
I'm not surprised. I think the legacy of Pac-Man is long over. That's my thought. Anyways, we've been on this subject for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Mystical Ninja. I don't know if you played Mystical Ninja. Did you play Mystical Ninja?
No. I'll trust your opinion.
I never played it. I watched
Oh,
somebody play it on YouTube, and I thought the
shit.
concept was cool, but I didn't watch it all the way through to build an opinion. I don't feel comfortable judging it. Mischief Makers.
Mischief Makers is sweet. Good A. Solid A.
I would say solid B.
Really?
Convince me on your A. Why?
It had a lot of replayability. Mischief Makers is one of those games like you'd come back to because of how simple it was. You just like if it was your style of thing, 2.5D platformers are really hard to go wrong with. Like I was a big fan of Klonoa. It looks good, it plays good. It's kind of got a couple of little RPG elements mixed in there. And it, at a time where like the Nintendo 64 was either you're playing a collectathon platformer or a Zelda clone. A Klonoa clone's not bad. It might not even be a clone of Klonoa. It might have come out before that.
It definitely came out before Klonoa.
Came out. The
I mean,
Treasure is responsible
I
for this.
think
Wow.
I think you sold me. I mean, there weren't a lot of solid side scrollers on the N64 in my opinion. And Mischief Makers is one of the ones that sticks out in my memory.
Right. And it's got a lot of really good, flashy, like 2.5D visuals to go along with some of the really good gameplay.
Doesn't it have like a lot of pixel art too?
Yeah. It's like half pre-rendered 3D, half pixel art.
Okay, I'm sold. Mischief Makers is dope. I'm sold. A tier. Go play Mischief
Hey,
Makers. Um, I'm gonna just put this in D. Army Men, Sarge's Heroes 2. Playable, third person game. Fine. Okay, this is a tough one. Micro Machine 64. And I have one argument against this game being like B, C.
never been a fan of Micro Machines in general.
Ooh. Where would you put it?
D, not broken, but not great.
Oh, so we just agree. Like Micro
Yeah,
Machine 64 is just another racer.
right.
The reason why I don't like Micro Machines 64 specifically, the draw distance was hot garbage.
The N64 was capable of so much better.
Oh yeah,
Like, do you ever see played the Pro Skater games on N64?
we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, NASCAR 2000. It's the only NASCAR game that matters.
It's pretty good. B.
E?
I'm not a fan of racing games.
I mean, that's putting it up there with Amarines and Mario Tennis.
Right, but like Cruise N USA would be like a B for me also, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Cruising USA I can definitely say is a B, but I don't think NASCAR 2000 is a
Maybe
B.
for the physics I could give it an A. Like but I can't really find a reason to fault it.
The Fizz? I'm saying it's like a CD.
I could see C, average. I mean,
It was popular enough, people liked it.
and then it faded out when other exactly the same game came out again the next year.
Because this is during a time period where, some of the sports games were still fresh.
E,
Okay, NASCAR 99 and NASCAR 2000. C tier?
E.
Yeah, see, that was easy. All right, what Mortal Kombat is that? That is Mortal Kombat 4.
Oh God,
A.
hard F.
Wait, was 4 the really bad one?
Yeah, first 3D Mortal Kombat, and boy is it the first 3D Mortal Kombat. Fuck me.
That's
I
the
don't think Mortal Kombat needs 3D at all.
that's the one where they just simply clipped the character through the spikes, right? And like the
Right.
blood was already on the ground and they didn't actually bleed.
Right. It's the ugliest fucking 3D models in fighting game history. It looked bad, it played bad.
I don't think they look that bad.
It looked really bad. When was the last time you played Mortal Kombat 4? It was atrocious.
When was the last time I played Mortal Kombat in general? PlayStation 1, probably 2006, around that time period.
I played Mortal Kombat 4 a couple of years ago just because like I was thinking to myself it couldn't be as bad as I remember.
Mhm.
And it's pretty shit. Like I'm not I don't like 3D Mortal Kombat games anyway. I don't think the third dimension, the rotating stage works well with Mortal Kombat,
Mhm.
but I would still rather play Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Okay, well, you're saying F. Um,
I think it fails as a part of its series. That's why it gets an F. Yeah, it's not even just a bad fighting game. It's a bad part of its series.
I'm
Bad
gonna
part of a great series.
I'm gonna take in the community score of a 7.5 out of 10 into consideration. Okay.
V.
See, I don't think it's. I was thinking this was 2. I don't know why. I remember 2 very fondly. Uh, can we agree on D?
Sure, but like I mean, like that's the highest rating I think it deserves.
It's not
It,
garbage. Like
it,
it's
it is hot garbage. It is.
'cause we have a section for garbage with nothing in it.
Oh man, it is. It's not like Road Ride to Hell Retribution garbage,
Right.
but it is really bad.
Oof. Banjo Tooie?
S
S.
plus solid.
S.
I think it's better than the first one.
What?
I'm serious. I think it's way better than the first one.
I think Banjo Kazooie was way better.
I think Banjo Kazooie was a good foundation for what ultimately became one of the greatest open world games ever made.
I concede. I'll give it. Banjo Tooie gets a sus as S plus.
Right. It wasn't on some kiddie shit. It wasn't trying to hold the hands of the little kids that played the first one. They knew their fans got a year older and probably wouldn't give a shit if they made a couple more serious jokes and made it a little harder.
But Banjo Kazooie is obviously also S plus.
Yeah.
They're both S plus.
Yeah. Hard standout games, pinnacles of their time.
Absolutely. Like easily some of the best collectathon platformers of that generation. Like Mario.
I'd like to point out that Banjo Tooie is also coincidentally one of the best first person shooters on the Nintendo 64.
One of 3. Well, 4. Wow. We're getting into some like I don't know what these games are territory, and we have barely made a dent.
So we call this part one.
Well, I mean, when I say we haven't made a dent, we haven't made a dent. We should at least try to bust out quite a few. So let's just go through some things that we don't need. So let's see. Atari Greatest Hits. It's Atari, whatever. D.
Yeah, D.
It
It's
was.
Atari.
It's your dad's game. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't play it. I mean, I had it. I hated it. It came with a magazine, I think. Whatever. Strike Zone, baseball. Please stop. Mission Impossible. I don't remember it being very good.
I don't either, to be honest. I don't have fond memories of Mission Impossible. I remember like not enjoying how the camera worked, and that was most of my experience.
I remember my friends playing it, and at the time, we were playing 007 and stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh, you gotta play Mission Impossible, dude. It's like, what if GoldenEye had it's a different game?" And I played it, and I was like, "This is not good." I remember it had like cutscenes, voice acting. Wasn't it one of the earliest games to have like Easter eggs as well?
Yeah. Well, the Easter eggs in video games date back to the dawn of video games,
True.
but it was one of the earliest instances of discovered Easter eggs.
So it has a Metacritic of 61%. So I think this should just be in a C tier, B tier, or D.
We yeah, we trust the consensus. Give it a mid ground.
I'll throw it in D. It's not quite Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, which I still feel should be in garbage, but
Nah, I can't do it dirty like that.
in the zone, don't care. In the zone, don't care. Uh, hang time, don't care. Wait, hang time was actually kind of fun, wasn't it? No, I'm
I
thinking
didn't
of
play it.
NBA Jam. NBA Jam
Yeah,
is B tier. Dude, NBA Jam was fucking fire. Let's be real. NBA Live, stop.
you can put most of the NHL games
Right.
there.
I liked Blades of Steel. That was a fun one. Do you trust my consensus on a C?
Yeah,
My dad and I used to play the fuck game. Winter Olympics was hot garbage. That game was bad.
I
Olympic.
imagine. I imagine a lot of people played a giant chunk of those sports games and were like, "Oh, but I loved that game." Yeah, you probably also bought every other sports game every year when they fucking came out. So
Which
you
is
just like
fine.
sports.
Like
Yeah, you just like sports. Like that has nothing to do with video games. You just like sports.
fine. Like Feeney, who pops in and out. He's a big sports gamer and whatever. Like you like what you like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me fucking dead playing FIFA, but you do you.
I'm not gonna sit here and rank Madden 2002 back to Madden Football 64. It's not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah,
Not
no.
doing it. European Tour, whatever. Pilot Wings 64.
B. Good shoot 'em up.
Pilot Wings?
Was it a shoot 'em up?
No. Was Pilot Wings a shoot 'em up? I do not remember any guns or shooting in Pilot Wings 64.
Oh no, it's just a flight simulator.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty fun.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. Pilot Wings like shoot 'em up. Anyways, Pilot Wings for me, I own Pilot Wings. Um, I don't own that many N64 games. I own the Zelda's, Pilot Wings, and Super Smash Brothers. But I own Pilot Wings for some reason. Like I remember it being good.
Little known fact, I am a fucking sucker for flying. I love plane simulation.
I did not know that.
I'd probably enjoy it. Even if it was not great, I'd
Oh,
still
it's
probably
it's
enjoy it.
pretty solid because like you get different vehicles. Like there's jetpacks, there's wings, there's glide suits. Like it's got a pretty unique diversity that still keeps it cartoony, but you also still have like the mini challenges and the events that you have to do. I think Pilot Wings is like a solid B, honestly.
I can see that.
Like I put enough time into it. Yeah, I would say it's a B. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if my mic picked that up.
Yeah.
Paper Mario?
Easily an S plus.
Thank you. I would have cried if you were like, it's bad. I
No,
loved Paper Mario.
I don't even care for turn-based RPGs all that much, but Paper Mario is fucking sweet.
The Paper Mario is on my list of games to play in the upcoming future. Like it's got to be done. It just needs to be done.
Oh, I want to do a playthrough of the Thousand Year Door just because that's the only one I haven't played.
Resident Evil 2 S plus.
S plus, hands down. Whether or not you like Resident Evil 2 is irrelevant. One man managed to fit a 2 GB game into a 64 megabyte cartridge without removing a single fucking asset. That is efficiency.
Dude, Resident Evil 2, so good.
So good.
All right. Ogre Battles 64. A.
Yeah.
Like
Fun, kind of memorable.
I don't want to invoke the wrath of the Ogre Battles 64 community, but I actually genuinely enjoyed that game when I was a kid, and I wish I still owned it because my god, that game is worth a lot of money. Holy fuck. Same with my Majora's Mask Hollow front end pre-order edition. That game's worth a lot of fucking money. All right. Pokemon Snap.
I know that a good chunk of the world is going to hate me for this, but I think Pokemon Snap is a D.
I was going to say B, so justify yourself?
I think it's boring as fuck. I'm not a fan of on-rail shooters to begin with, right? But imagine, if you will, an on-rail shooter where all you do is throw fruit and balls at wild animals who are just trying to fucking do them. You're not battling Pokemon. You're not really ever seeing anything all that insane or interesting outside of like the Mew stage. You're just throwing shit at Pokemon on rails.
Mm.
Explain to me how that's fun.
Well, I mean, obviously, Pokemon Snap falls into heavy subjection within the community. My counter argument is it's a cutesy Pokemon game. It's not very. It doesn't take a lot to play. It's it was more of like an invitation into gaming rather than this mainstay Pokemon thing. I don't think it needed to be amazing for what it is. It's just cute.
It's nothing. It's literally a Pokemon tour. It's a Pokemon wildlife tour.
Yeah, that's good. That could be fun, right?
If that I mean if that's your thing, but if I want to see a wildlife tour, I'll go see some fucking wildlife.
Yeah, but you're not
I
gonna see
don't know.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I fucking am. All Pokemon are based on real animals for the most part. Like, I'm pretty sure if I put my mind to it, I would have more fun identifying the real world animals I'm looking at with Pokemon that I know.
So what did you
Hard
say?
facts.
D?
I'll concede to like a C, but I don't think it's good by any means.
Yeah, I really want to be. I really want to be.
Explain yourself.
Well, the thing about Pokemon Snap is it was a very good game for me to utilize or use for communicating and allowing myself to have friends who might like Pokemon because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of communication. That game opened up a lot of conversations, it deepened a lot of friendships. So it's a very subjective perspective.
A solo on rails nature tour, deep in friendships, in comparison with something like Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium did the same thing.
I don't think they even did close to the same thing, but maybe that's
No, it
just me. I don't
did
know.
the same thing.
I don't think
They're not
so.
the same thing. They did the same thing for
I
me.
don't I get that, right? I just don't I like I get I don't understand that. How do you be sociable over Pokemon Snap?
I mean, we were 6 to 9 years old.
Fair enough. I don't know.
I think that's one of the reasons why Pokemon Snap. I don't think Pokemon Snap is anything special, but at the time, it kind of was. Just from like, I mean, Pokemon
I
is
don't
such a powerful force.
I don't have nostalgia for it. That's where the big difference here is, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's very important. Pokemon
Right.
Snap.
I think if I had nostalgia, it'd be closer to a B.
Will you accept a C?
Yeah, I'll accept a C. I just don't think it's like phenomenal.
I really want that B, but it's sad to see it down that low, honestly. But I get it. I get why. All of the Blitz games, I know they're just football games, but they're all really good. I'm putting them in B. I'm assuming you've never played the Blitz games.
I have no clue.
Okay. They're like football games, but you can like beat the shit out of the other team, and it was fun.
Uh, Road Rash, but for football.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love it.
We don't care about these sports games. Care. All right, Pokemon Stadium. Easy AS.
I'd say A for Pokemon Stadium 1 and S for 2.
I agree completely. Pokemon Stadium 1 was just missing out on something that 2 had.
Yep. Like the Mountain Battle, going through each gym leader, having story bits and tournaments and things in game to not only keep you engaged with just a party of people around you, but also just engaged in the game itself.
Right. Didn't Pokemon Stadium 2 introduce like 70 more characters for that game?
Right. Tons of it allowed tons of trading between, like, you could do a lot of training for your Pokemon in Stadium and then transfer them back to Game Boy. And Stadium 2 had just such good balancing for everything.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium 2 was solid. Definitely. I don't think I owned 2. I think I only owned 1. But I wanted to and I never got it. So I ended up playing
My
it at a friend's house only.
my older brother had both of them and the
No
expansion
shit.
part
He's a
for the
Poke
controller.
fanatic.
Not that one, not that one. My younger
Oh,
older
okay.
brother had both of them, had a bunch of the older Pokemon games, and had the card that you plugged into the controller for trading Pokemon between Stadium and Pokemon games. So that was a really big deal for them back then. Like, I have a little bit of nostalgia for that.
All right. Pokemon Stadium fire. um, is there anything you disagree with on our list?
Not yet.
Think this is solid so far?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we made good headway here.
Well, everybody, if you like this and you want to see it through to the end, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, man. Like, what are you doing? And
Yeah, and
there's a
when you
check
do
mark.
that,
Yeah, tell him, tell him.
when you do that thing with the bell icon, in the little drop down menu, it says to alert you when videos come out personalized or all the time. And if you click the little box that says all the time, you'll get notified anytime one of these goes live. Just, you know,
It's
worth considering.
it's worth it. And yeah, you'll get an update of when I'm streaming, and I stream at weird periods. Like I take hour-long breaks after about an hour and a half, which is kind of weird, but it gives you an opportunity to pop in and also take a break.
And let's be
Because
real here. What's one extra notification out of the 10 you probably get on Twitter a day?
oh, absolutely. Facebook, text
Right.
messages.
Right.
It's just one
Add
thing.
us
It's
to your loop.
nice. All right. And go check out Red. He does stuff.
Right. I also just put up a song as we speak. I have uploaded a song to my music channel.
Oh, nice.
So so yeah, that's up.